The world's most dangerous migrant route is busier than it's ever been.
This place is like hell on earth, really.
To make it on foot from South to North America, there is only one way.
The conditions are incredibly harsh. We just saw a woman that nearly broke her ankle in the river.
Through an almost impenetrable jungle.
Are you afraid that you can die?
Of course. Anything could happen to anybody on this route.
Littered with bodies and filled with armed gangs who rob and rape the vulnerable.
¿Qué pasó?
We went in with the migrants, braving the Darien Gap. We wouldn't all make it out.
This is absolute madness.
Some travel for months to get to Las Tecas on the edge of Colombia. Thousands show up each day, shouldering the weight of bags, of babies, and of hope for a new life in the US. But if they can't pay, they won't pass.
Bueno, ¿cómo está, muchacho?
The man who runs this camp goes by the nickname Maradona. He says he doesn't belong to a smuggling cartel, but admits that's who's in charge.
Quien controla esta zona, el que manda por aquí es el Clan del Golfo. Y yo no hago parte del Clan del Golfo. Ni lo quiero hacer parte, pero es la realidad. Supuestamente nosotros aquí hacemos un tráfico de migrantes. ¿Y cuál es el tráfico de migrantes? Y nosotros lo que estamos haciendo es una atención humanitaria. Que no lo hacemos gratis, es diferente. Pero la atención está, y ustedes lo están viendo.
Millions are made from migrants forced to hand over their savings. For up to $300 each, there are sold wristbands and a promise that local guides will help them on the trek.
Vine de Venezuela, padre, ¿usted sabe por qué? Por la hambruna. Si se desayuna no se almuerza y si se almuerza no se cena.
Hey.
Que soy sincera, yo he
No, está bien,
trabajado con bombonas de gas,
mujer,
cargándomelas
mujer,
aquí.
y no eres la única.
Y he hecho
Y
cantidades
no
de
es la
cosas.
única. Pero tú crees que eres una heroína
No, yo no soy
exponiendo
una heroína, yo lo
a
hago
tus
por
hijos
mis hijos.
por el tapón de... No.
De verdad. Tiene
O sea, ¿tú crees que es una heroína?
Yo no me voy, yo mira,
Oye, ¿tú
yo
crees que
no
es
soy
una
capaz
heroína?
de venir.
This is the last resort. For just the chance to live a safer life, they will risk death. Now it's time to go. A nervous crowd jostles for space. Runners waiting at the start line of a deadly marathon. This is a race into hell. Welcome to the Darien Gap. A 60-mile stretch of roadless, lawless, remote rainforest that links Colombia to Panama. This year alone, a record 400,000 people will cross it into their final leg through North America, all the way up to the US border.
Oh my God.
We've joined a group of around 1,200 migrants on their journey. We've barely begun before the heavens opened. The storm churned up the river. It's almost impossible to cross.
¿Cómo está el camino?
Duro, pero para adelante.
We've made it, but the group just a few hours behind us didn't. They reported losing dozens of people washed away in the current.
This must be one of the most difficult migrating routes in the whole of the world. And to think that these people have 3,000 miles in front of them before they get to America.
Once the rain eased, the queue spread out, snaking so far behind and ahead of us, we can't see where it begins or ends. The number of migrants risking this route is 6 times as many as it was this time last year. Many come from South America, but lately others have come from China and Afghanistan too. They had to fly here, to a continent with more relaxed visa rules, a long but necessary diversion to get to the US.
Me estoy diciendo,
Desiree, her husband Anderson, and 2 daughters Mia and Emma fled Venezuela for Ecuador 5 years ago. When the economy crashed there too, they came here.
Sé que ellos son niños y ellos no saben la decisión que uno tomó. Y entonces hay que tenernos paciencia. Más nada.
¿Cómo te sientes como madre trayendo a tus hijos por acá?
Bueno, lo único que pienso es que les voy a dar un mejor futuro. Que mi país la situación está muy fuerte.
Para ella es como un juego.
La aventura. Yo le dije que ellas están de vacaciones y estamos en una excursión. Estamos en una excursión buscando el tesoro, ¿verdad? Vamos a buscar el tesoro de Baba Fea.
It's a hard game to keep playing as everyone gets more tired. Our second day brings with it intense humidity. Trudging through the hot mud saps all of our energy. It's physically and mentally exhausting, and migrants who've been drinking the river water are starting to fall ill. After 3 days of trekking, the mood lifts. We've made it to the Panama border. We will carry on, but the Colombian guides won't.
We just crossed into Panama. We left the protection that the cartel sells in the Colombian side, and now the migrants are on their own. There's been reports of raping, robberies, killings. This is possibly the most difficult part of the journey. It's pretty hard.
Resting after the steepest climb so far is 28-year-old Peng Dao, pondering how he ended up here.
就是别的路我不知道，这个路也是前几个月我才了解到，就是只知道这个路线。我现在就是很累，就想坐下来休息一会儿，然后我就感觉走不动了。
He speaks only Mandarin and brought no food or water with him.
现在就感觉很累，现在就很渴，现在就是。
The number of disillusioned Chinese migrants coming here exploded once China's lengthy COVID lockdowns finally lifted last year. We're worried about him. So are the boys who are trying to look after him.
Let's go.
中国现在就是没有以前好了。我小时候的时候，就是社会上充满人情跟希望，现在就是变得就是越来越糟糕。现在就是还有一个就是对于一个人的发展，就是这个希望越来越小。
Everyone here is chasing a dream, and some are running from nightmares too. Kim Bay fled the civil war in Cameroon.
I am a refugee because I'm coming from a war-torn zone and my life is in danger every minute. Every minute I fear the threat of death and torture. My chances are better of surviving here and making it. Even if I'm raped, I might not die from the rape. I know it's bad, it's dangerous, yeah, but it's better than death. Yeah, it's better than dying. It's better than dying, so I prefer this risk.
Did you want to do it for yourself, for your daughter?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Because if I'm safe, she's going to be safe. If I have a future, she has a future. So that's why.
Do you miss her?
A lot. So much. Maybe when I get to Panama City, I can call her that at least I'm out of the jungle for now.
After that day, we didn't see Kim again.
Gracias por el pan de Canadá y amor de Nos dice la mamá que lo prepararon, que no fue pero nuestra mesa sin la mesa.
For Desiree, it's getting impossible to keep up the pretense of a fun holiday for the girls.
Cansada. Pero ya casi. Lo demás viene por añadiduría.
¿Qué te han dicho que puede pasar por acá?
Muchas cosas, a los TikTok, las bromas, los videos. Los muertos. Todo. Pero bueno. Para adelante.
By now, we've slept rough for 4 nights. We are nowhere near the finish line. And around every corner lies another threat. The sound of gunfire sends everyone into a panic. Suddenly the people are running back down the path.
¿Qué pasó?
7 manes robados con pistolas allá. Se llevaron un poco de gente. ¿Tuviste? Claro. Sí, nos soltaron un disparo así para que nos paráramos y nosotros seguimos. Andan todos con pistolas. En el camino aquí, y entonces cuando tú cruzas para este lado están esperando a uno. Desde la piedra esperan a uno de este lado. Y cogen a uno, agarraron como a 7 personas.
One of those taken was Mayeline's grandmother. Without her, she's inconsolable, alone and scared. All she can do is stare into the trees and hope she would emerge. After an hour, she did. The kidnappers had to let her go, spooked by some border guards on patrol.
¿Cómo se siente?
Ay, cómo me hace bien. Le doy gracias a Dios porque estoy bien, pero estoy asustada. Yo por la niña. Sabes que uno va por los niños.
There's always safety in numbers. Traveling solo is especially risky here. We found Francesca, a nurse from Venezuela, alone on the edge of the river.
¿Qué tienes en tu mano? ¿Qué te pasó eso por agarrar el palo?
Her hands were blistered, but her ankle was broken. With more than a full day left between here and civilization, she can't carry on. Another group of Venezuelans arrive and try to encourage her.
Estamos casi cerca de la meta.
Ya le falta nada, amiga. Mire, la niña carga todo esto pelado, pobrecita.
La cargamos
Ayer no
lastimada.
comió casi nada. La mía viene toda.
By this stage of the journey, most are sick and all are hungry.
Mami, no te quedes. Vamos.
Mire que por ahí sonó bien temprano unos gorilas. Uy, de repente un león. Una verga que sonó así bien feo.
Francesca is so close, but she cannot and will not move.
We'll probably have to leave and look for help for Francesca. She won't be able to move.
We reported her location to the Panamanian police and hoped she would be rescued. Every step to this trek has felt harder than the last. Finally, after 6 days, came the final push. The terrain starts to improve. The mood does too. We hear Desiree and her family have made it out of the gap. And against all odds, Peng has too.
终于到达这里了。我感觉这个旅程，这一段旅程终于结束了，挺欣慰的。
Locals offer boat trips to a nearby UN camp for $40 per person. The ordeal is over, but the journey isn't. There are many countries and thousands of miles to go. And in the end, most of the migrants we met won't be allowed into the US, where border controls are tightening again. Still, on they go, hoping they will be the exception.